This is Real Estate This Week with Stephen Gasque, continuing 16 years on air and online, helping you succeed in buying, selling, and investing in property. The best real estate strategies out there just for you.
Welcome to Real Estate This Week. Hi again, I'm Stephen Gasque, and I'm so glad you're here as we help you get your home ready for the holidays. After all, there's nothing like celebrating the holiday season in your very own home. But today, a really different and really great strategy for holiday decorating, which can help you move from Thanksgiving all the way to New Year's and beyond with virtually no stress. Sound good? Well, let's learn how to make that happen. Joining us now is Julea Joseph, owner and lead interior designer at Reinventing Space in Chicago. Julea is a professional home stager who's been helping clients make their homes amazing for decades, whether they're selling them or not. Julea, welcome to Real Estate This Week.
I am so excited to be here.
I am so glad you're here as we approach the holiday season. Now, my first question for you. When you start decorating for the holidays, do you do it once? Or do you begin with Thanksgiving and then every time a new holiday rolls around, you redecorate? What do you do?
Well, that's a loaded question. So here's my philosophy about decorating for the holidays. And it's interesting that you introduced the topic as holiday season, because it is a season of holidays, and it starts in fall and ends in midwinter, correct? Right. So my philosophy is if you start with foundation pieces, and I call them my good bones. So whether you're decorating for Thanksgiving or heading into the winter holidays, right? So whether you have a tiny little townhouse or you have a Tony mansion on the coast, right? If you have some great good bone pieces, and my good bone pieces are pieces that can kind of, like chameleons, they can kind of instantly transform themselves. And think of a hurricane vase. And a hurricane vase is a very tall, narrow vase, almost like a hurricane lantern, but it's a vase. And you can have one or many of those, and it's something that you can fill up. So if you're heading, if you're thinking of the Thanksgiving holiday, anything that has to do with the harvest can go into this hurricane vase. And then as you move into the winter holidays, such as Christmas, you can take out the items that are harvesty and put in things that are much more festive, that have to do with those winter holidays and Christmas, or however you want to celebrate that season. And then those things can be packed up at the end of the season. And that same hurricane vase can go, say, on your entry table, or on your buffet, or on your dining room table, or on your cocktail table or sofa table in your living space, and other things can go inside of it. So it's kind of like a mini little museum to the ode of the holiday.
That is a great idea, because you don't have to tear everything down and start from scratch.
Correct.
Because you're already halfway there.
Yes. And another good bone is a foundation pillow. So as you know, you've talked to many a decorator, stager, and designer over the years, right? And pillows and those textiles are things that we love to use all the time. So a pillow is a pillow, a foundation, right? So whether it is foam or down inside, but the cover can be switched out as well. And many a retailer has been kind of hip on this idea. And, big box retailers, as well as boutique realtors, or if you're going to do, something online, they will just sell you the pillow cover in the size appropriate to your pillow. So rather than having 1,000 pillows stuffed in some kind of storage bin or under your bed, you just have an array of pillow covers that can be unzipped and put on for the holiday.
Oh, Julia, this is great. And it's not only totally festive, but it's totally easy for a busy household.
Right. And then other good bone items would be, you can, nature is like one of the easiest ways to celebrate anything. So if you're tied for space or you don't have a huge storage area, I lived in San Francisco for 10 years and I would say the word basement and people would be like, what's that? Right. So, that was the most thing excited about moving back to the Midwest is that I had a basement to put stuff in. Right. But if you use live greenery or live plants or flowers or things like that, those things are what? They're temporary. So once the season or the holiday is over, those get discarded or recycled or put back into nature. And then you can start again that way too. And whether you're selling or dwelling, say you're selling your home for the season for some reason, those are things that are very neutral, that create a festive feel, but have that broad appeal to everyone, right?
Right. Right. And so we've got the hurricane vases. We've got the pillows. What other bones should people be thinking about?
Well, you can also have bone pieces and let me back up to the hurricane vase really quick. So besides the hurricane vase being this wonderful tool for decorating, the hurricane vase is also a great tool for entertaining as well. So a hurricane vase, which is this, kind of this tall cylinder type of vase, can also be used for entertaining because you can put foodstuffs in it as well. Think of like long breadsticks from the deli, or you can flip it over and use it as an elevation for your buffet. You can also put in chips, part of your chips and dips. So it's one of those pieces that can be used over and over again. And then one of my other, besides, the pillow covers, which are textile, just simple fabrics are also a good bone necessity because yardage of fabric, whether it is a beautiful tablecloth or a beautiful handmade quilt that you have inherited that has been passed on in your family, or just pieces of fabric that you pick up at the fabric store, those textiles can be used in a festive way also. So if you have a beautiful shawl that has, harvesty autumn tones to it, don't think that you have to wear it because you can use it for decorating as well. It can be on top of your entry table. It can be kind of a river runner down your dining room table. It can hide your cat scratches on your favorite chair. It can be tied kind of organic or origami wise into a pillow cover. And then the thing that's great about fabrics and textiles is they fold up and can be put away in a small space.
This is excellent. And so, Julia, you have now set the stage for how to get your home ready for the holidays and then quickly pivot from one holiday to the next, and then the next, and then the next. So
Correct.
let me now ask you, if I were to visit your holiday home this Thanksgiving, what would I see, where would I see it, and what sort of vibe would it give off, beginning with Thanksgiving?
Well, interestingly enough, I am hosting a cookie giving party this year. So,
wow.
yes. So normally those cookie exchanges are more around the Christmas holidays. But this year, I have decided to kind of pivot on that and do a cookie giving instead. Because as we know, there's Friendsgiving now. There's all these kind of sub holidays around Thanksgiving. And I'm hosting a cookie giving because who doesn't want cookies around Thanksgiving? So you might as well start eating cookies now, right? And I actually have been inspired by many things that I see online. And I'm actually putting up a harvest Thanksgiving tree this year, which I've never done before.
Whoa!
I know.
A Thanksgiving tree.
And the thing that's going to be great about it is that once the holiday is over, right?
Right.
I'm all ready to go for the next one.
Same tree?
Same tree, same lights,
Wow.
just different stuff on it.
That
So,
is
so you're
incredible.
normally Thanksgiving is a little bit less in the decorative manner than our bigger major holidays like Christmas. Um, so normally with Thanksgiving, it's more of that fall theme. My porch is all set up with fresh pumpkins and corn husk items and sunflowers and things that are more harvesty feeling. And then those will go, and then it will be transformed into more of those winter, that more evergreen berries, big our classic red and green themed items. But this year, I took a chance and did a whole switch and popped up my faux tree, and it is all set and ready to go. In fact, I'm actually getting in a little ornament box in today because, like I said, this is something completely new to me that has some like Thanksgiving themed items that are going on there. So then I'll take all those off, pack them away, and then I'll get out the boxes, right?
Right. And Julia, let me ask you about that. Now, you say it's the same tree. Are you talking about an artificial tree? Because
Yes.
I don't know, would a real tree last that long?
Yeah, absolutely not. And I grew up, I think people are in two categories. So you agree? They're either the artificial tree person because it's the convenience of it. And then there's the people who are, totally into they grew up that way with a fresh tree. And I will do the artificial tree this year because obviously, I could you imagine me showing up to the tree farm this time of year and say, by the way, do you have any supplements I can add to the tree that will get us to keep it alive for 3 months? We can barely keep it alive to January. So,
Oh, I can imagine you saying to the Christmas tree people, do you have a 2-for-1 special? And can I pick up my next one
right.
in mid-December?
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who actually do these kind of beyond Christmas tree themed trees. So when I kind of got that idea and kind of started doing some research, I didn't realize that there was a plethora of from whatever holiday it is, there's a tree for it.
And Julia, on your Thanksgiving tree, what sort of decorations would be there? Like little turkeys or little corn husks, little
Yes.
sunflowers?
Yeah,
What?
exactly. So right now, I'm not completed. There is corn husk garland on it, which I already had. I mean, and the thing is that I think that people don't realize sometimes is that most people who do decorate for the season, that have storage, have pretty much everything they need. So literally I went into my bins and so I had some corn husk garland and I had some, kind of changing leaves garland that went on the tree. And then I had these giant kind of pom-pom, very neutral color ornaments that were in my in my holiday stash, which I got out. And, if you look at the color theme of what you might already have, right, you might have everything ready to go for a Thanksgiving tree. And believe it or not, I do have a couple turkey ornaments because I think you know this, but I'm a chicken keeper. And I actually had a turkey. I actually had a turkey at one time. So people have given me turkey ornaments as gifts. So those turkeys are going on the tree too. But leaves, anything that is nature inspired, because it is the harvest right now, right?
Right.
You could do you could do acorns and dried leaves and dried flower pods, because this is the time, this is what the celebration of Thanksgiving is. It's all about the thankfulness of the harvest, right?
That's wonderful. And what about, I wonder if you could find a little air fryer ornament.
You know what? There is an ornament for everything. Everything you can imagine. There's someone who has made that product for you.
Excellent. And so let's now walk into your house at Christmas time. What will I see at that time of year?
Well, the holidays to me are either are an absolute mix of traditional, of things that remind you of your childhood or things that have been passed down, at my age. My parents are gone, so I have inherited ornaments from my childhood and my family, as well as my grandparents. So I love that traditionalness, that you have those special ornaments on the trees or things that your children made while they're growing
Oh,
up.
yeah.
But
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
also, because I'm a designer, I really get excited about whatever the trends are as well. And like I said, if you have those good bones, a great Christmas tree, right? And great basic color ornaments. And if you decide to go from those traditional colors to something bold and different, it's a very easy to switch things up. A couple new ornaments and some ribbon and some other little small accessories make it really simple to change it out. I'm pretty traditional in terms of that. So I do love the festive lights inside. I love mixing, like if you're gonna do a buffet and you're gonna add some decorations to the buffet, I do love to kind of intertwine lighting. So lucky me, I live in a large piece of property that does have evergreens and things like that. So I can go out with my snippers and snip berries and grapevine and evergreen boughs and things like that. So I can incorporate that all into my home. And like I said earlier, the magic of that is that it disappears after the holiday. There's no packing
Ah,
required, right?
right, right. And Julia, another question. What would you recommend to one of your clients who is celebrating Hanukkah in their home to make it absolutely magical?
Well, I think with Hanukkah, that it is all there's a definite color scheme involved, correct? And I think too, just like myself with the traditions, that those traditions in your family, like if you have a menorah that's been passed down, from generation to generation, um you know the I think with Hanukkah, it's a lot about the food too, right? And that celebration, that the house smells beautiful, that you have all those scents and things like that, and then all those traditions that you've brought over, from your generations of family, and that evening ritual that you have, during Hanukkah as well, is that you have that cozy firelit, um sensual, right, feeling of the holiday.
Right. Exactly. You nailed it. And Julia, one more quick question. Now, for New Year's, is it all gold and silver and popping the champagne, or do you have ideas that go beyond all that?
Well, I think with New Year's, you can do anything you want. So New Year's is one of those things that normally your Christmas stuff or Hanukkah stuff is still sitting out, right? All that stuff is kind of still out. There are purists who literally the day after Christmas are packing everything away. But I think it's the metallics. You can do a theme too. So if you want to kind of do like a Great Gatsby kind of color scheme, you can do more black and white, right? You could do a glam look that it's much more gold. You can do, kind of like those fluorescent colors, like fluorescent pink and fluorescent lime color. Like I said, there's so much out there for people to kind of be inspired by when they're out and about, whether it's online or in person at retailers, to kind of catch on a theme. You could even have a theme of like what your goals are for the new year, right? Like say if it's something that your goal is to go to Paris, right? That for the 2026 season, do a Paris theme New Year's, right? So it's like
Wow.
it's almost like a goal board, right? For the new year. But instead you're using it as your decor, part of your decor in the celebration of it.
Absolutely. That sounds wonderful, Julia. And so, as we continue into the new year, beyond New Year's, of course, we'll have two more things that some people consider to be big holidays. One is that massive football game that I'm not allowed to actually say what it is for copyright reasons. The other, of course, is Valentine's Day. So really, the holiday season lasts almost, 4 months?
Right. And then for football, obviously, it's whatever team, the teams that are playing, or your team, right, that you're excited about. And it can, once again, if you do have some of your decor up, you could probably, with those good bones, that hurricane vase can sure turn into something for a big party, right, for the football season. And then sneaking into Valentine's Day, once again, those good bone accessories can be flipped out. And, Valentine's Day is pretty easy for the color scheme, right? And usually people is a much more simplified. It's really more of just the mood that's set with Valentine's Day. But if you have those good bones, an easy flip on a pillow, an easy flip on the runner down your table, that hurricane vase going to heart candies, or things like that you can do. And it's really funny because I do so much one day decorating. I'll go into a home around Valentine's Day, and there's always the stray Christmas that's still sitting out, like the things that the people have forgotten, because there's always that last box of the things that you forgot to take down. And or it's the vice versa. You go to decorate for the upcoming winter holidays, and the Valentine stuff is still kind of hanging out somewhere on some tray somewhere. So we always kind of forget some corner of your home. And Valentine's Day is easy too, because you can even do things that smell good, or things that are chocolate, or and fresh flowers and things like that, because all these things are things that you think of Valentine's Day, right?
Absolutely. And Julia, I'd like to thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. And I think that, like you said, it's kind of a run-up to so many different holidays. And, kind of looking forward to these holidays, I think, too, kind of renews the energy for people, too. It might be gloomy outside, but your home is celebrating on the inside.
And Julia, again, thank you for being with us, and I hope to talk to you again real soon.
Same here.
Julea Joseph, owner and lead interior designer at Reinventing Space in Chicago. Julia is a professional home stager who's been helping clients make their homes amazing for decades, whether they're selling them or not. Next time on Real Estate This Week, how to buy a house. We'll talk to a real estate expert about what you should know if you plan to buy a home of your very own. Great strategies for every home buyer out there. That's next on Real Estate This Week. And until then, I'm Stephen Gasque, and thank you for listening.
A brand new episode of Real Estate This Week with Stephen Gasque drops every Thursday, everywhere. And you're invited to listen, subscribe, and follow us. Just look for Real Estate This Week with Stephen Gasque. The best real estate strategies out there, just for you.